Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's episode of Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast. This is the show all about farmers markets. Whether you're a new or experienced farmers market manager, farmer, or a food producer selling at farmers markets, this is the podcast for you. Hi, I'm one of your hosts, Brijet Myers. I have spent many years as an on-site farmers market manager, and I have done it all from pulling permits to social media marketing. And I also help coordinate Intense, the farmers market conference.
And I'm Cat Fields-White, also an active farmers market manager here in Southern California, director of San Diego markets, doing all the things market managers do, popping tents, hauling barricades, and curating farmers markets. And I'm the founder of the Farmers Market Pros, providing education and an annual conference for farmers market participants.
All right, hey everyone, welcome back to Tent Talk. On today's episode, we are talking about supporting the community that supports us at our farmers markets and also converting the parts of the community that don't yet.
Don't yet, that's right.
Not don't and won't, but don't yet.
That's right.
It's all an opportunity.
Much, once you've been open for a while, most parts of the community support you.
Yeah.
You'll always have those one guys across from the market that are cranky and hate live music.
Those grouchy fellas.
But not too many.
No.
But when you're opening a new market especially, or
Yeah.
you're just, in the first year or two, sometimes local businesses feel threatened.
Yes.
Or they feel concerned.
Or confused. Yeah. And we talked about that when we talked to John at Waypoint Public.
Yeah, that was
about
good.
Being a restaurant directly adjacent to a farmer's market. So it was good to hear his concerns and what those are, and then how we kind of got over those and worked together to make it a good relationship. But I feel like we're still getting questions about, what do we do when we're a new market coming into a neighborhood and they're unsure of it? Or what do you do with a grouchy neighbor? Or how do I involve the community more in general? Or just how do you build...
We have this really good location, but they're trying to push us off because they're concerned that we're competing with them. Or, our little businesses that are there 4 hours a week are competing with the restaurant next to me.
Yeah.
And we understand the restaurant's concerns.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of ways you can develop good relationships with those folks so that you don't have those issues. And so they're happy to see you there every week.
Yeah, I think it's nice. Both Kat and I have operated brick and mortar businesses before we did pop-up businesses. So it's good to have that perspective. So I think we're sensitive to it, and it's good for market managers and vendors themselves to be sensitive to brick and mortar concerns and issues when you're directly next to them at a farmer's market. Clean up after yourself and don't, play your live music, but maybe be careful about where you place it so it's not right next to the entry door to a business.
Right. And
things like that.
We're careful when we place vendors, so we're not putting a coffee vendor right next to a coffee house.
Exactly.
That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's just like when we're trying to think about and talk to our team about not taking things personally if a vendor's in a bad mood in the morning because this is their livelihood and they're concerned about this and they might be stressed about things. Mm-hmm. We as managers and farmers and vendors have to think that same way about those brick and mortar businesses. They're paying rent on those spaces 24/7 all month long, and sometimes they're having a rough month and it's going to be tough to make that rent, and any little thing that affects their business is going to stress them out.
Absolutely. So sometimes they see the market as more of a threat than a help. And so how can you convert that? How can you build that bridge and make it a pleasant relationship? Because you're probably not going anywhere once you've established a market on a street. You're going to be there, and they're going to be there in their shop. Maybe they'll move or close, but how can you make that relationship work while you're there?
Well, we have a firm belief that rising tides float all boats, and that the customers that come to see us when we're there once a week are noticing the other neighboring businesses. Sometimes they stop into those businesses on the way or on the way out. Sometimes they don't, but they come back the next day, or when somebody says, where should we go to eat? They say, oh, you know what? I saw a cute cafe near the farmer's market on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Let's go check that out.
Exactly.
So we really believe sincerely that the extra traffic that we draw to the farmer's market is helping those businesses, but that might not always be obvious to them unless you help them see that.
Exactly. Yeah, I know especially at the Lily Market, because it's just such a busy neighborhood in general when the market's happening, because it's a Saturday, so there's a lot of people out. Our staff in our info booth, if people come to the info booth and say, where can I go to eat? I always say, do you want to eat at a vendor in the market? Are you looking for something to eat while you're shopping here and walking around? Or are you looking for a place to sit down and eat? and just ask them what they're looking for. And even though the market's going on, if they say, oh, I really need to like sit down for a minute, get a little table service, I go, great, these are my favorite restaurants right here in the neighborhood. And then I always say, yeah, go have fun and then come back to the market and shop before we close at 2. So that's just a way to kind of build, like, we are part of this neighborhood too, the market and the restaurants. So
yeah, we in fact encourage our team to get to know the restaurants in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
We should be eating in the restaurants in the neighborhood. We should be including our farmers and vendors in that information so that they know what's around. Because when you're sitting in a booth that says information or welcome on it, people don't necessarily realize that you're not the Chamber of Commerce. You're just information for the market. They want to ask you information about the neighborhood.
Yep.
And you know what? You should be able to give it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of consider ourselves like concierge of the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Like this neighborhood is our hotel, and we're trying to, get the community to come back, to stay. If they're on vacation, you want them to have a good time so that next time they plan a vacation, they come out and they come to the market and they come to those restaurants that you recommended. Or they know about special events happening in the market, even if it's not events that we're a part of. So just letting them know what's going on and when.
Right. Mm-hmm. You want to tie them into your community in every way that you can.
For sure. Yeah, I know when we have had kind of smaller weekday markets that we've been trying to build, one thing that I've done at our markets is I go to one of my off days, I'll just go to the local coffee shop or go have dinner with my husband at a restaurant there or go to the bookshop with my kids. I always snap a couple photos and I post them on our market Instagram and say, hey, I found the cutest bookshop right down the street from the market. It's open 7 days a week. Like, come check it out. Look at these books that they have. Or having the greatest cup of coffee of my life at this little shop right around the corner from the market. And I tag them in that. And so those businesses see that as our market management crew, we appreciate and we frequent those neighboring businesses.
So easy and so important.
So easy. And then it's just really helpful because then I get to know the neighborhood. We have markets in different neighborhoods. And so I get to know each neighborhood's kind of personality and vibe and energy. And then I can kind of tailor our market to that.
Right.
So it helps everything.
So important to realize that each neighborhood's different.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a few episodes down the road about curating vendors. And one of the things that's important is understanding certain vendors may work in one market and not another, all based on what the neighborhood's vibe is, what the neighborhood's needs are.
Mm-hmm,
Meet people where they are.
Exactly. What are some other ways we can involve the community?
Well, I love how you post pics of your food, like when you're eating at a restaurant, to the market pages.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not if you were eating at Burger King, but you would never.
I don't eat fast food, okay? That's the one thing I'm snotty about. I eat refined sugar all day long and processed foods. But I actually don't eat fast food.
Well, I'm
in the AA for fast food, actually.
You had your problem.
Yeah, I used to have a problem.
That's right.
but finding places to eat, maybe I'm not posting pictures like, well, I'm at a club at night and being like, at the farmer's market down the street, there's this club where I'm having some shots. Doesn't really tie in.
I feel like one of our team members used to do that, and it was all right.
It's fine. Because those people shop for groceries, right?
That's right. Everybody's got to eat. You got to eat to dance. You need those calories.
Yeah, and saying something clever like that, like, hey, if you're out at the club like me, like, come to our market tomorrow and get some green fix for your
you're going to need that
like
green
a
fix.
Green smoothie to help with your hangover. Like funny stuff like that. People like that.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We're all people. Yeah. Shopping at the markets, working at the markets, we're all people. So you got to hit everybody about, and you know what? Farmers markets are good for every part of your life. So you need to remind people of that, whether it's hangover cures or cooking or, So it's cool to go to farm to table restaurants and really play up those folks that support the market already. You know, chefs that are shopping at the markets and things. Mm-hmm. But that's not the only kind of folks that we need to support, honestly. We need to support the whole community.
Absolutely. Go to my local bakery and eat all those sweets and say, hey, maybe they're not sourcing locally, but they have some really good cookies. Come try these out, or the ice cream's good. So
man does not live by peaches alone.
That's right.
Kind of. But if you do have a bunch of peaches, you maybe put them in a pretty bowl from Pigment or, one of the local lifestyle retailers that have home-style stuff. And you use their cushions and pillows and things as a backdrop when we're shooting pictures of, vegetables or a table that's set with food that's made from farmers market ingredients, that kind of thing. There's all kinds of ways that just about anything that's happening in your community can relate to the farmers market.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think last year, I went around and took pictures at all of our markets of people with different canvas bags from different local shops, or if they had a reusable mug from like the local coffee shop, Cafe Italia, which is a great local coffee shop in Little Italy. They have reusable mugs, and a lot of the locals that shop around the market, they're just carrying their coffee around in the morning. So I had everyone holding up their Cafe Italia mug, and I put it on it was during market hours, and saying, hey, grab a coffee at Cafe Italia like these guys, and come shop for your produce. So it was a good way to, and then they reposted it on their page and said, hey, get a coffee here and go to the farmer's market. So you're getting that extra marketing at very low cost. The cost is your time, of course, but it's a way to kind of widen your reach.
Absolutely. And that's something that you can do long term down the road. It's great when you have local businesses actually buy a sponsorship and you print their name on a banner and all that good stuff. But even before you get to that point, cross-marketing is the way to go, because all of those folks at Cafe Italia's Instagram followers and things, they saw that post too.
Exactly.
So that's a way of widening your web, widening your reach, getting it out there into the Twitterverse, and getting people to see your stuff by kind of writing on somebody else's stuff and promoting them.
Exactly. And they're a small business. Your market is full of small businesses, or you're a vendor in a small business. So it's just kind of, we're all helping each other. We're all on the same team, right? So we're all alone in our like small businesses, but we're all together because we're all working toward the same goal, which is to get the community to come out and shop locally at a shop and at the market.
Yeah. Stronger the community is, the stronger your market's going to be.
Absolutely.
When we print maps of our markets, we'll print a long map to kind of show people where we're located and where the farmers are versus the non-farmers and where our craft section is. And we always try to make it a community map. We add a few blocks around the market and put in kind of landmark businesses. We're at the point at some of our markets now where we can encourage those businesses to pay us to put them on there and write a little bit about their business, and they help with printing costs and things. Then they're really happy to have those maps in their business. So when somebody goes in to get a cup of coffee, they pick it up on a Wednesday and say, oh, there's a farmer's market. Walk around to that. So good cross-marketing, but whether or not they're paying you to help with printing, it's great to put those on there, especially if you're a new market, where it's tough to justify them investing in sort of advertising on your map. There may be businesses around you that are way better known than your market. So you get those on your map and you can use them as a reference point. Hey, the market's held here right down the corner from where Joe's Hardware is.
Yeah.
Or, find us catty corner from Pueblo Mexican food on Tuesday afternoons. That kind of thing, where somebody recognizes something that's there 7 days a week and you relate that to how to find your market.
Exactly. Like the little landmark there. So yeah, and it's great for new businesses to say, hey, I'm right next door to the big farmer's market
That's
that you
right.
know. So
That's
it works
right.
both ways. And it's a great way to kind of build those relationships, which, as you said, can turn into sponsorship money down the line.
Right.
Which is also a conversation we're always having with people at Farmers Market Pros. How do I get sponsors? How do I build those relationships so people want to sponsor me and find the value in sponsoring our market? This is a great way to do it. Give them a little taste of what it looks like first. And then as your market grows, build that into a relationship and say, hey, would you like to also place like an ad in this map or a little newsletter?
Exactly.
And then I'll keep you on the map there so people will see that we are a community together.
We had a question recently, actually, about how I can't get sponsors because we're not a nonprofit. It was a farm group that was running the market. Well, honestly, I see more people lately, more businesses supporting farmers markets, not as a donation to a nonprofit, but because they see it as a legitimate marketing partnership. So it doesn't matter whether you're nonprofit or not. They're not sponsoring you to donate to your market. They're sponsoring you because being associated in people's minds with something as warm and fuzzy as a farmer's market is good for their business.
Exactly. So they want that ROI on their marketing investment. And also maybe because they believe that farmers markets are good for the community, and maybe they don't want to give you a donation, but they feel like, oh, okay, this is also a great person to partner with. This is a great business to partner with. So you just build on all of that because people are into that. And then if you have a brick and mortar in a community that has a great farmers market, it's like a good feedback on your business. Oh, I'm in this community and we have a great weekly community event. So
it's something that builds a community sometimes that's kind of on the edge, that's maybe been a little rough around the edges, and they're getting settled and doing more things that are investing in the neighborhood residents. A farmer's market's a good thing, and it's good to be associated with that move.
For sure. Yeah. Also talking to local schools.
For sure.
Involving the schools is just a really great way to kind of bridge that. I mean, kids got to eat. Everybody's got to eat, but like kids have a blast at farmers markets. There's always fun stuff to do. Usually local schools, like I'm on the PTC at my kids' local school. And if businesses approach us and say, hey, we have a kid-friendly business, could you tell your families to come out? Like, this is a little fun activity we're going to have at the business. Some of the local restaurants, actually, Waypoint, they have a thing where they read stories where you can bring your kids and they have someone there like really animatedly reading a story. And then you can get like 10% off your kids' meal or whatever. So if you do that in the market, like, hey, come and we'll give you some coloring pages, or there's an art activity or something else happening at the market, or come see this band that's really kid-friendly playing at the market, walk around, do a scavenger hunt. As schools, they want that. They want to be able to tell their families about community activities.
Yeah, they're looking for something to do in the neighborhood that's fun for families, that's fun for the kids.
Exactly. So markets can do that. Individual vendors can do that as well. Contact schools and say, hey, I have this really great kid-friendly, like Maya's Cookies. Like, come get cookies at the market. And then it's just all this cross-promotion going on. So there's a lot of opportunity for that, I feel like.
And don't you love it when a vendor comes up with an idea like that?
Yes.
Hey, I'd like to teach kids to make salsa in my booth.
Yes.
Is it okay if I do that? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's
please.
Okay. Please do. Please do.
Yes, understanding they're very busy and it's sometimes hard to add that extra activity there. But once your vendor business ramps up, or farmers, hey, I want to teach kids how to, prep this veggie or try this veggie, or what they can do with their fruit or something. Do you mind if I tell them, like, hey, meet me at Rodney Quato's booth and we'll make little crafts out of my raspberry baskets? Things like that. I mean, just go for it.
And so smart, because you know how kids are. Mm-hmm. Once you get kids hooked on something, they're going to bug the heck out of the parents to go back.
Oh, man. My kids are like my best personal trainer because they love going to the gym, because the gym is so fun. And they have coloring pages at the gym. I mean, it's just a coloring page. But they're like, Mom, go to the gym. I'm like, you're a great personal trainer, actually.
Right. And
but same thing. Mom, go to the market.
Markets, too. Doesn't Calvin always want to go back to the market?
Oh, he loves the market. He likes the cookies, actually. But but when my middle child was young, he had a really good relationship with Anthony Masael. He's one of our farmers, because he would give him the littlest carrots that he picked. There'd be a bundle of carrots, and he'd pull out the little tiny one and give it to my son. And he was like, we have to go to the market because Anthony's going to give me my little carrot. So it's just those little impressions you make on the kids that helps bring their parents there. And then once you get them on the street, they're there. They're going to buy stuff, right? Farmers markets
absolutely.
are great. So
yeah, that's never not going to happen.
Exactly.
And supporting schools, you get such an instant return. And let's face it, it's a good thing to support schools. So we find that investing in things like a sponsorship with the school, where they give us an ad in their email newsletter, is one of our most effective forms of advertising. It's a feel-good thing, but honest to goodness, it also brings people to our market, whereas we might place that same ad in a magazine that's going out to a wider population, not as focused, and not get as good a return. Yeah. So sometimes school sponsorships can be a really, really good way to tie into the community and also definitely see instant results.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you have EBT at your market and market match, that's a great thing too. If there's a school in your community that you think maybe is a little food insecure, they don't know they can use their EBT at your farmer's market, let the school know. Say, hey, can you get this out to your parents that they can bring their EBT bucks, their EBT card, to our farmer's market and use it here? Because the parents probably want to feed their kids great food. Let's show them where they can do it. And then you get them to the market, and it just builds that great relationship.
An idea is forming for me right now. We are totally printing stickers that say, oh, snap, let's go to the farmer's market.
That's clever. Yeah, you get stickers. We did that one time. We had little owl stickers that we sent out to the school. Yeah. Like, it's a hoot at the market. Yeah. So, yeah, get the kids involved. It's great, and it's a good, and it's a good activity to do with kids too. So.
Any kind of community event, actually. So we have concerts in the park during the summer at some of our neighborhoods, and we always send a table out there. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how many community events would love to see more involvement from anybody. Mm-hmm. So if you take the time to call and ask them, or pop them an email and say, do you mind if we send somebody out there with a table, and we'll have some stickers on it, or some magnets, or shopping bags if you really feel like investing, or something to tell about the market. I think we've sent our team out with tangerines in a basket at concerts in the park, because people will pick those up and eat them at their at their picnics on the blankets that they're sitting on to listen to the music, and they remember you for that. Beach balls at the Pacific Beach Market concerts, the concerts in the park over there. That works because they get tossed around the grounds as people are listening to the concert, but then they take them home.
Exactly. So it's a good way to just connect with your community and show the community that you care about the fact that they want to get together. Like, oh, I care that you're gathering here at other events. We also have a weekly gathering event. Come out.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Find people where they want to be together and remind them that there's one more place to be together. Tuesday afternoons, 2 to 7, Bayard Street.
Come together with your friends. Yeah, so those are some great ideas for kind of connecting with your outside community, outside the market community. And this goes for market management and vendors and farmers. They can do their own kind of outreach or ask the market manager, hey, what do you think about this idea? So there's a lot of opportunity to do that. And I will say from experience, years of experience, the more you connect with your community, the bigger and better your market gets. That's just math. It's just how it works.
Exactly. Instant karma.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, show that appreciation and just keep showing it. And sometimes I go to coffee houses and I sit there and I post it on our market page and I have coffee there every day and they don't ever repost it or say anything about us, but I don't feel like it's a lost effort. I feel like I'm still putting it out there. Maybe someone's saying it and just not posting it. You never know. So just put it out there that you appreciate your community.
And somebody that loves that coffee house is appreciating that you love them too. You're developing a connection. You're developing common interests and illustrating that, hey, we're neighbors.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's all get together.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you have any other ideas that you have done, people who are listening now, tell us, how you connect with your community, because I know we're always looking to share ideas and to do stuff at our markets or talk about it at the podcast or put it in our email newsletter that we send out every week and let people know how they can connect with their communities too, because you never know, new ideas form all the time, right? People tell me, oh, I did this at my market. Something never occurred to me. So let's share our ideas. So let us know. So you can post on Instagram, follow us on Farmers Market Pros and tag us in your ideas or tag us in your photos that you're posting at your local coffee shop and say, hey, this is my local coffee shop. Tag them and then tag us so we can see it. Because
that would be fun.
That would be so fun.
And then we'll repost and talk about you.
See this web?
You can also email us.
You can email us,
connect@farmersmarketpros.com.
Yep. So many ways. We were just talking about this. So many ways to connect.
So many ways to connect. Or, bring those ideas to Intense, the Farmers Market Conference in February, because we're going to have lots of roundtable chances to share.
That's the best thing about the conference, I think, is just networking and hearing other people's ideas. And then I go, oh my God, I've been doing this for 10 years and I've never tried that.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah. That's great.
Good.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. All right. We'll see you next time. Hey, thanks so much for listening today. Please leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you find this podcast, and tell us how you liked today's episode. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss the next one. And if you want more farmers market tips, tricks, and information, you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter at farmersmarketpros.com and follow us on Instagram at farmersmarketpros. Watch for upcoming Farmers Market Pros events, both live and online, and take advantage of early bird tickets for the 2020 Intense, the Farmers Market Conference right now. Regular price for the 3-day conference is $355, and early bird price is $235. So you save over $100 by planning ahead and getting your ticket right now. Three's Company tickets are an even better deal, so bring a couple friends, and we are looking forward to seeing all of you there. This podcast is produced by the Farmers Market Pros, where passion meets profit. Today's episode was recorded by Adam Samaha and edited by Justine Marzoni Mead. Original music by David Mead.